What is interesting, and what was asked, there was a couple questions asked of the Fed about AI, and I'm actually going to tell a funny little story here about AI that's going to wrap up this episode. And but what's interesting about AI is there's two things going on, in my opinion, with the economy with AI. The biggest one, I think, and maybe not the biggest, but probably the most noticeable, is the current investment in AI infrastructure, right? These data warehouses and, all the money that's going into supporting AI. And I think that it's right now it's building, huge buildings and, these large databases to maintain all this information, but it's also going to be energy, right? What we're hearing is that you're going to see these big data warehouses also building their own, power plants, energy plants, maybe nuclear power, enough to feed their own infrastructure, but also feed the grid. And that it's going to be interesting how all that plays out. So on one hand, we got this huge investment that's kind of really juicing the U.S. economy as we invest in the AI infrastructure. On the other side, what we have is we have efficiency going up drastically. So even though you might see GDP go up, you might see productivity go up, it's not necessarily taking more people to do that. And so historically, when you would see GDP go up, you would assume there would be job growth with that. And I think what we're going to start seeing is that, the typical growth that would lead to more employment might not lead to more employment because of the efficiency and productivity that AI now brings to the modern workplace. So it'll be interesting how we, kind of read that, going forward, and are the anticipation of jobs that we think are there because we see the growth, maybe not there in the same way. And that'll be problematic, right? Because if we can produce more and grow the economy with less people being employed, that's not great for the average, the average household across the U.S. That's going to be problematic, perhaps. So anyway, just kind of some interesting takeaways that might be different than the normal talking points that you might get around that.